I have a sleeve here where along the elbow it's toward the fabric, and there's a lot of different ways you can fix a hole like this. You could take the fabric and you could patch right on top, or you could patch underneath and then keep the hole pretty close together and then do a series of running stitches along here. And that method is really good for fabric that is really thin, and the stitching across reinforces the fabric itself. And the way that I'm going to show you today is I'm going to put the fabric underneath and I'm going to turn under the edges like this, and I'm going to stitch along the edge here. And the reason why I chose to do it this way is because it's much quicker, and also if the fabric is underneath, you won't see such a large patch, and then the fabric that you're patching with is mostly underneath. Once you turn it underneath like this, you can go and iron this if you want it to stay down. But what I like to do is I like to take just sort of safety pins just to hold the back fabric together and prevent it from moving. So I just go around and do it pretty close to the edge, but not right at the edge. I'm going to go around and I'm going to do that, and I'll show you what the next step is. I'm using a number 8 pearl cotton from DMC in color 783. It's this really nice kind of yellow color, which I thought picked up from the stripes in the shirt. I have the edge around here with the fabric folded under, and I use safety pins to hold the patch fabric and the top fabric together. I have my thread, and I'm just using an embroidery needle for this. It's quite short, and I find it really easy to work with. I believe it's like a number 9 maybe, but any size that will fit the pearl cotton is fine. When I start, you could pull the needle from the back of the fabric, but if you want to, you can just go underneath this first layer here and then just tuck the little knot and tail underneath. I'm doing a whip stitch, and when I go down with my needle, I'm going underneath this green fabric, and then when I come up, I'm coming up through to the top fabric. I'll just do a few stitches and I'll show you what it looks like underneath. So underneath, it's just like a series of small stitches. So you're going through all the layers onto the back of the fabric. If you want to, you can make these stitches a little bit wider, but I like them about that much. I would say it's about 1/8 of an inch wide. Just use your judgment and decide. It's going to hold it really well because this top fabric is folded underneath. So the stitch doesn't have to be super long in order to make it strong to hold it. And I would keep the distance about the same. I don't think you need to go that close, and if you go too wide, it might leave too many gaps. So I think this is a really good distance. You could see how it's looking here. And there it is on the back side. And I do like this pearl cotton. I feel like it's a really nice thread, and it's nice and strong. And it's not like embroidery floss, because embroidery floss, it's meant to be divided, whereas pearl cotton isn't. So I find it a little bit stronger when it's not divisible, and it has a similar strength to sashiko thread. And it comes in a lot of colors, which I like, so you can have a bit on your roster. I wanted to also mention it's really frayed on this edge here, which I'll fix later, but I do have a video on how to fix the edge of this on the pocket of jeans. So I'll put a link to that at the bottom, and then I'll show you how you could fix something like this. I'll do that at a later date on this shirt. But if you're curious, you can pop over and check out that video. I finished sewing along the edge there, and now I'm going to take the needle and put it to the back of the fabric. And I'm going to go underneath one of the stitches and create kind of like a loop like that. And then I'm going to put the needle inside that loop, and I'm going to pull. And if you want, you could do another one, but one's fine. And I'm going to go underneath the fabric just so that the tail is hidden. So I'm going to pull that through, take my snips, and cut that off. The next step is to deal with this edging here. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to just trim this a little bit closer. I would say about just a little bit under an inch is a good distance. You can go a little bit wider if you want, but I wouldn't go much closer. You don't want it to get too close to this edge here. And you want to sew this edge down because when this gets washed, this is going to get curly. And also, if you do stitch this down, it's just going to reinforce the mending of this hole. I'm going to turn this inside out, and then I'll show you the next step. I've turned the shirt sleeve inside out, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn under the edges here, and I'm going to create a similar stitch, the whip stitch along the edge. If you want to, you can also do a running stitch, whichever you think is best for you. But I'm going to do the same stitch all the way around. I start the same way, so I pull up the knot there, and I'm going to tuck it underneath the fabric. And I'm going to go underneath the shirt fabric onto the patch fabric and do the same stitch. And the same size and the same distance. And what this will do by sewing along this edge, it's going to reinforce the hole, and when you wash it, it's not going to fray or get all curly. And this is what it looks like on the other side. So it's just a series of small stitches. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and do that all around the patch. This is what it looks like with the edging all sewn underneath, giving you a nice sort of clean edge on the back side of the sleeve. Here is the sleeve with the mending that I did. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.